Good evening. Welcome to the midweek sports review on EzeSportsTV. I remain your host, Harrison. Of course, it's good to have Kesta with me. As usual, Kesta, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, it is the end of the season. We've had all the top European leagues concluded over the weekend. We've had the champions of England, the champions of France, Spain, Italy, and of course Germany, as well as Portugal. Porto, the champions right there. Of course, PSG, the champions of France. AC Milan, returning to winning the league after 11 years, of not winning that title. Real Madrid, the champions of Spain. Bayern Munich returning their title, making it 10 times in a row. And of course, Manchester City doing a back-to-back right there at the English Premier League. Kesta, over the weekend we talked about this particular fixture, especially the English Premier League. I had a lot of predictions. Of course, of all the 5 predictions that I made, only one came through, which was the game between Arsenal and of course the competition between Arsenal and Tottenham Hotspur. Tottenham retaining their 4th spot and of course making it to that Champions League position. Unfortunately for Burnley, they got relegated. They lost their game, and Leeds United, got that important win. Of course, Manchester City coming from behind, 2-0 down to Aston Villa to get that 3-0 victory. Liverpool winning their own game, but the victory was not enough because Manchester City went on to win their own game. Manchester United lost their game against Crystal Palace 1-0 away from home, but then West Ham also losing after taking the lead against Brighton and Hove Albion. Brighton going on to coming from behind to win that game. What it means is Manchester City are the champions. Liverpool, Chelsea, and of course Tottenham Hotspur will be representing England at the next season's UEFA Champions League, and of course Arsenal and Manchester United will be at the Europa League, whereas West Ham will be playing at the Europa Conference League. Watford, Burnley, and of course Norwich City got relegated down to the Premier League, to the Championship. Kesta, there's so many talking points, so many things that happened over the weekend. The excitement. Last time we saw this kind of buzz and crazy football was when it was Aguero, Balotelli, and of course Queen's Park Rangers. I mean, we thought we would never see anything like that again, but we saw that happening on Sunday.
Yeah, what a season we've had in the English Premier League. A lot of talking points, as you said. Manchester City returning the league was actually, some people have said it looked better this time than that of Aguero. With scoring the winner against QPR to give them the title. But I don't know if they are correct anyway, because I know that particular encounter was also very, very exciting for the fans, especially for the fact that they were just a team. They were trying to come, maybe they say big. You can say that Manchester City currently is a very big side in English football, but then it wasn't like that. They were still a team. They were trying to, come up to terms of, being in that top side of people that can always compete and win the league. But at the end of the day, it was a very interesting season. Liverpool pushed them all the way to the last day of the competition, all the way to the last minute of the Premier League, because But one interesting thing to point out is that at no point was Liverpool top of the table on the final day. At no point, even though Manchester City went down 2 goals behind against Aston Villa, Liverpool, we are still finding it difficult to win that game against Wolves. In fact, Wolves took the league in that game and missed a lot of chances as well. So by the time Liverpool could win their own game, could go, West Ham, Manchester City was already doing well and coming back against Aston Villa, of course, eventually won that game. What a game we had on Sunday. The introduction of Gundogan in that game and Zinchenko changed it all for Manchester City, and also Sterling playing a very big part after coming from the bench. So it was a very good season we've had. The top 4 settled, of course, Manchester United, Arsenal losing out in the top 4. Manchester United having a very bad season themselves, one of the worst seasons you can ever think of as far as Manchester United is concerned. Managed to make it to Europa League places, finishing 6th. It was not expected of a Manchester United side at the start of the season, but at the end of the day, that's what we have. And Arsenal unfortunately missed out on the top 4 because of Let me say inexperience, because they're very young side, the youngest side in the English Premier League last season, with a very young coach as well. So they couldn't, handle the pressure and everything. They were very close to making it at the end of the day. Europa League place for them is not a bad finish as far as I'm concerned. Finishing 8th last season and then coming this season to finish in the 5th position looks to be an improvement as far as Arsenal is concerned. If they can build on what they have done this season, I think they will do better going forward. So a very good season we had. Of course, the relegation battle at the end of the day was Burnley that went down. A lot of people actually predicted them. Not only you, people gave Burnley the chance because there seems to be the better side in terms of trying to win something from the remaining games they had. Of course, they had a very much better goal difference against Leeds United. So a lot of people, expected them to go ahead to actually get a draw that will make them stay in the league. But Burnley Leeds United even went ahead to win their own games away from home. So it was really an interesting day. At the end of the day, we have the champions in Manchester City. Liverpool did very well. Losing the league after gathering 90. How many points now? 92 points. What a season they have had. You don't see this always. 92 points, and yet you failed to win the league. Shows how good this side have been. Almost winning everything, still have the chance to win the Champions League after winning the cup competitions and all that. So it's a very interesting season. Of course, Chelsea, at the end of the day, after the troubles and everything that happened, still made it to the top 4. Very, very nice one for them. And then Everton staying up, also nice.
Of course, talking about Chelsea, the English FA have actually finally approved the takeover. The rumors that Chelsea might be relegating to the League One, and of course, going into administration, I think all that has been put to rest. Looking at it, there was a lot of uncertainty in Chelsea, and one of the reasons why some players were skeptical when it comes to contract renewal. But now that it seems like the Chelsea are stable enough, to go into the next season, do you see Chelsea coming back to continue from where they left off?
Yeah, because with what we are seeing so far, the third Burnley consortium that have been, have won the bid, in purchasing Chelsea, is looking like people that wants to continue investing in the club. If they can settle the issue of the takeover and all that, I think Chelsea currently we also continue from where they stop. What they just need is continue doing what they've been doing in terms of investing in the academy, investing in players, getting the right players for the coach. They are very lucky to see have the coach remain with the club. So not much will change. Just what they need now is the approval from European, the European. Officials union, because Abramovich is also banned in Europe, so you need to also get cleared in Europe and all that. And also Portugal government also we have a role to play because Abramovich have a Portuguese passport. So those things are just the data that are remaining. At the end of the day, Chelsea will be safe as far as I'm concerned.
Okay, Kesta, the Premier League is over. We had a lot of exciting moments, a lot of good performances from the players. We had Kevin De Bruyne, of course, Mohamed Salah, of course, Son, Harry Kane as well, Cristiano Ronaldo. We can talk about the young players, Bukayo Saka. Of course, there's Phil Foden right there. Of course, the Chelsea, Mason Mount of Chelsea. Trent Arnold of Liverpool. The Premier League have given the award, and the PFA Player of the Season went to Kevin De Bruyne. A lot of people can actually argue that someone else deserves it in Mohamed Salah. When you look at the season so far, Mohamed Salah racks up all the statistics you can actually think of. Going back over the season, these are the things that we think they'll look at, when giving the PFA Player of the Season. He had the highest assist. He scored, of course, on ties with Son. Of course, he got the golden boot for himself. He had the highest shots on target. He created the highest big chances of the season. He created the highest chances in total of the season. Looking at that, and then him missing out on the PFA Player of the Year, there have been a lot of debate out there that Mohamed Salah deserves it more than Kevin De Bruyne. Of course, I'm not trying to, play down his own performances and contribution to Manchester City winning the league. And of course, that of the under-23. When you look at people like Mason Mount, who had about 10 goals and 9 assists, to his name. That's about 19 goal involvement. And you look at players like Bukayo Saka, who scored 11 goals and provided about 6 assists. And you look at Trent Arnold, a defender with 12 assists. I mean, what a season he has had. To me, I think maybe Trent Arnold stand a better chance, but then the award went to Phil Foden. I mean, do you think there's a little bit of bias here, or you think, I mean, it went to the right people?
I would have agreed if he said Salah would have deserved it if he had won also, than saying he deserved it more. You know, I always agree when you say someone deserves it more. I mean, both of them deserve that award if it had gone either way. And in this case, Kevin De Bruyne, he deserved to win the award. He was, you know, he stood out as far as that Manchester City side is concerned, and he was very consistent. I mean, to win this kind of title, you have to be consistent throughout the season. Of course, you can always make the case for Mo Salah. He ticked all the boxes, he did everything, but I think he wasn't consistent throughout the season. He did very well at the start of the season, or the first half of the season, more than he did in the second half of the season. At the point, he was Mane that actually took the leadership position of Liverpool moving forward, doing everything for them and all that. Mo Salah deserves to be in the conversation, and he's rightly in the conversation.
Excuse me, Kesta, you're talking about him having a very good first half of the season. Towards the first half of the season, Kevin De Bruyne didn't have the performance he's having now.
Yeah.
I mean, then he was a bit quiet. We actually didn't see more from him when Mo Salah was putting in those performances. So if we're going to look at it from that angle, I think we should also look at it from the angle that there was a time Kevin De Bruyne weren't actually putting in the performances we saw him putting majorly in the second half of the season.
Okay, at the start of the season, that's what you say. Kevin De Bruyne was not really doing well. He was injured at a point. You know, he didn't start the season well, but not the first half of the season. I think he picked up in the first half of the season as well. He did very well in the first half of the season overall, but he didn't start the season well. So I mean, these are the people that are involved in this are professional. They would have looked at it from. And again, the issue of winning the league as well plays a role. Of course, you cannot take it away that Kevin De Bruyne at the end of the day, all his efforts led Manchester City to winning the league. I mean, with everything Mo Salah did, they couldn't still win the league. So sometimes he also plays a role in who and how he goes. And I said it that Salah deserved to win this award if he had won it. But he doesn't deserve it more than Kevin De Bruyne. Both of them were outstanding over the season. They did very well to deserve that one. Of course, for the young best young player of the season as well, it's always the same for me. For you to make the nomination means that you have done something special for your team and in the league. Mason Mount could have easily been seen as a worthy winner as well, you know, with assists and the goal involvement that he had. And then Trent Arnold also of Liverpool did very well for himself and all that. There are also other quite young players, but I think these four that we are nominated stood out. I mean, Bukayo Saka at his age, carrying a team like Arsenal the way he did, should have been a worthy winner to me as well. So, but at the end of the day, one person is just going to win the league. Maybe the fact that Manchester City went ahead to win the league have influenced some decision from some people. But at the end of the day, people that won also deserve to be.
Okay, Kesta, thank you so much.
Of course, we could also talk about the other leagues and the way it ended. Of course, AC Milan, you mentioned it earlier. Winning the league after 11 years is a very beautiful one for AC Milan. You know, I like the fact that AC Milan won the league. At least they are back now, you know, as a top club that they used to be in Italy. Juventus, Inter Milan, AC Milan. Of course, you can now see that they are sharing the title among themselves, and it's quite good to see. I mean, players like Oliver Giroud moving to AC Milan from Chelsea, from England. Of course, Fikayo Tomori also from Chelsea. I'm so happy for these players. Ibrahimovic, at the end of the day, winning the league with AC Milan, you know, it's also very beautiful to see. And of course, you know, talk about Real Madrid, of course, worthy champions of Spain, and then PSG, as expected, always going to win their league, same as Bayern Munich and all that. Then there are still Ajax, you know, they won their league and Porto as well. So the new Manchester United coach coming from Ajax as a winner, of course, let's watch and see what he brings to in England.
All right, quickly, Kesta, before we call it a day, tonight we'll be having the UEFA Conference Final between AS Roma and, of course, Feyenoord. And, of course, I would like us to shortly talk about Kylian Mbappe, you know, signing his deal with PSG. everybody thought it was a done deal between Kylian Mbappe and Real Madrid. I mean, we were all expecting for that announcement from Real Madrid or maybe Kylian Mbappe himself. And then all of a sudden, we're seeing that he has signed a 3-year contract. I mean, I've never seen anything like this. I mean, even when Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi were playing at their prime, we've never seen them rack up the amount of money that Kylian Mbappe is going to be getting paid in those 3 years of contract he has signed with PSG. So, Kesta, quickly, Kylian Mbappe and, of course, your Conference League finals.
Yeah, a 23-year-old Kylian Mbappe, signing a contract as a free agent, always going to get £100 million sign-on fee. I mean, there was no 23-year-old free agent of Cristiano Ronaldo or Lionel Messi. So it's not surprising to me. And I think he took the best decision for himself at the end of the day because, I mean, Real Madrid just won the league. They might win the Champions League. With Kylian Mbappe coming in, you expect him to do something extraordinary with this team that can win everything without you. So it might be extra pressure on him. He looked at it and felt, staying back with PSG might be better for him. Less pressure, more money as well, as a matter of fact. So 3 years for me in PSG never looked like a bad decision for Kylian Mbappe to me. And the finals, of course, AS Roma. I just have that somehow supported AS Roma because of the involvement of Jose Mourinho and my involvement with Chelsea as well. Of course, Tammy Abraham will win that match. He has done so well in Italy, and I saw Mourinho with an interview with Joko, and he's saying that I think he expects people like Abraham, Smalling, of course. Tomori to be kind of people that will open that gate for English players to try going abroad and doing something for themselves instead of playing for a team that will be fighting for relegation. You can actually play in a bigger club in other leagues and stand a chance of winning trophies. Tomori have done that with AC Milan. There's a chance for Abraham to win this one with Roma, and I wish them the best. For me, Roma will win by 2-1. Of course, Feyenoord is not going to be easy. Cyril Dessa, Nigerian striker, will be involved in this one. He has been scoring for Feyenoord. I think he's the top scorer in the competition for now. But I see Roma with the experience of Jose Mourinho, who have never lost in a final before, winning this one by 2-1.
2-1 for Kesta. Of course, thank you so much, Kesta, for coming to the show today.
Thank you very much for having me.
Of course, the producer behind the cameras, even under the rain. Ralph, thank you so much for doing this with us. This is the midweek sports review on EzeSportsTV. Thank you for being with us, and see you next week.